Thank you for double-clicking your mouse tonight. You're listening to the Midnight Frightcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Midnight Frightcast, episode number 83, where some confessions will be coming with our topic tonight. I am one of your hosts, Josh. Sitting in the quarantine room with me tonight is the Scream Queen herself, Maddie.
Hey guys.
The Doctor of Filmonomics, Greg.
What the fuck was that?
And the Doctor of Everything Else, Patrick.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
We are going to kick off the night with some news. So turn on your ears because here comes the news.
The what?
The what?
It's the news.
News.
Okay, here we go. We haven't done
missed
news
that.
I know. Everybody supposedly has news tonight, so I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to start with just from right to left. Patrick, got news?
Yes, I do have some news from IndieWire, and this is about 2 weeks old maybe, because we just haven't done news for a while. And for what it seems to be his, 500th, 600th film adaptation, Stephen King's Revival is now being set to be made into a movie. And Mike Flanagan of Gerald's Game and Dr. Sleep fame will be adapting the script with an option to direct.
Is Mike Flanagan on The Stand also? Is he doing that one too?
I don't know. His name was attached to Salem's Lot at one point.
Gotcha.
But I don't know about The Stand.
I feel like Stephen King and Mike Flanagan, like you can't name one without the other anymore. It's just kind of, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Patrick, you had said that you watched Dr. Sleep, and I think you said it took you a couple times to like that movie. Do you think he's a good choice to direct Revival, or?
I think he made wise choices with Dr. Sleep.
Okay.
In adapting it to try to appease the fans of the Shining movie and still do an adequate adaptation of the book Dr. Sleep itself. So I think he made some really wise choices. I think he handled Gerald's Game really well. So I think he may be a good choice for Revival. We'll see.
I think it comes down to that whole, you're on the fence of, do you make the movie that you want to make, or do you make the movie that's not going to offend the fans?
Right.
You got to find that fine line. And I think he's done a really good job so far. I really like Dr. Sleep right out of the gate. I know it doesn't mesh up with the book as close as it could, but for what it was on screen, it was entertaining. There were some cringeworthy moments, which I appreciated. And the whole sequence when they go back, spoiler alert, to the Overlook Hotel was absolutely fantastic. I love that entire sequence. So
yeah, he made the choice to, because in the book, the hotel is not there. It's been torn down long ago,
right.
And it was a RV camp now or something like that. And he chose to actually take them back to the hotel. And I thought that was the right choice to make. It really made that end sequence, that third chapter of that movie work really well.
Yep, I agree.
So that's my news from IndieWire.
Cool, Maddie, what do you got?
Jamie Lee Curtis is teaming up with Blumhouse for her first horror movie directorial debut. Yeah.
Do you know what she's directing, Maddie? What is she doing?
You know, all I saw was it's a horror movie. There were the couple things that I read. Oh, here it goes. I'm looking at Deadline right now, and it says her feature horror project is Mother Nature, which is centered on climate change. So
interesting.
Yeah, and it's a 3-year first look deal that she's got with Blumhouse. So if something comes across his table that she wants, she can get it.
I wonder how that came about beyond, like her doing Halloween for them. I wonder how that kind of evolved into something.
I'm kind of surprised this is her first horror movie that she's directing. Like, I feel like she's just been such an icon in the horror industry for years, and
right.
it just kind of, besides the Activia commercials, I wonder why she made this leap now. Just because I feel like she could have done this years ago and it would have been really widely accepted.
And it just may not have been something. I don't beyond Halloween, has she really done much acting in anything else? Really?
Well, she was in Knives Out.
Oh yeah,
that's last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know. Greg, what do you got?
So, Funko, one of my favorite little collectible toys, is announcing that they're going to do a 13-day spooky countdown advent calendar. Basically, it's like your normal advent calendar, except what they're doing is they're including 13 pocket pop figurines. So, not the big ones that you're used to, any of those, but they're the little mini guys. But they're going to include figures from favorite horror franchises up to, but not totally including The Exorcist, Nightmare on Elm Street, what have you. So, look for that coming out. August is when they're releasing that spooky advent calendar, which will be fun. I'm excited to check that out. I always love the Funko Pop. So that was my news.
That's cool.
So just some, I don't know if it's old news or not. It's kind of starting to just kind of come out. They're starting to release a few more details for Scream 5 coming out. And so they're starting to release some names. So the latest name that I saw was Deputy Doofus is coming back. David Arquette for Scream 5. With him being announced, I wonder who is going to follow suit. I know Neff Campbell has been supposedly talked to. You got to wonder, because David Arquette's coming back, is Courtney Cox coming back? Matthew Lillard has reached out saying, hey, I could still be alive. Bring me back. So I'll be really interested to see who comes back, in what capacity, how they continue that franchise. After Scream 2, I kind of dropped out. I wasn't really into it anymore. I really couldn't even give you details on Scream 3 or 4. So I really don't know how they're going to do Scream 5.
So is Scream 5 going to be a remake or a reboot or what? Or have we not?
I think it's a continuation, I think.
Okay.
Because 4 was supposed to be a reboot of the series, if I remember right.
Oh, was it?
I think they were going to try and reboot it somehow, and I don't know. It's 3 and 4 were forgettable, so I'm meh on 5.
Yeah, I just don't know why they want to continue. Well, it's a cash cow. People will see Scream regardless.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was my news. I'm going to keep my eye on that though, because I'll be curious to see the details and names coming out. Oh, and the guys that did a movie that we watched, they're directing it. Ready or Not. The guys that did Ready or Not. They're doing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason I would be interested in that movie, because that's going to be.
They actually handle horror really well too.
Yeah.
And comedy, so I think they could do a pretty good job.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how they do that and what they bring, if anything new, to that table. So, yeah, that was my news. So,
even though I don't absolutely adore the Scream franchise, I'm kind of ready for some slasher movies at this point.
Right.
So I'd be willing to watch this one.
Right. They're very few and far between anymore, the slasher movies. So let's what have you guys been watching the last week? I'm just gonna keep going down the line. Patrick, what have you been watching?
Didn't have a chance to watch a whole hell of a lot this past week. Rachel and I actually took part in an online reading of the stage version of Stephen King's Misery, which was fun to do, with my wife playing Annie and me playing Paul. So that was a lot of fun to do. We revisited the Kill Bill series over the course of a couple of nights. I just love Tarantino. I just happen to think he's an incredible storyteller, and Kill Bill is one of my favorites. And I'm trying to get my wife to watch Reservoir Dogs. She has not seen that one yet.
That is my favorite Tarantino movie.
That is my favorite Tarantino movie. And then yesterday, I happened to watch a movie that was stuck in my Plex server for years now, that I think I had pulled originally from when we did 30 Days of Horror, and I decided to do horror movies from the 80s. And it was a movie called Blowout with John Travolta and John Lithgow.
Oh.
It was horrible.
No.
Now I can delete it from my server and open up some space for other movies.
There you go.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Cool, Maddie, what do you got?
This week, again, I didn't really watch a lot. I had a couple that I kind of wanted to check out, and I didn't end up doing that. I finished everything on Hulu from Disappeared, which is a really interesting show about people who go missing. And then I rewatched some Aqua Teen, which is always good. And I rewatched Memoirs of a Geisha, which is another favorite of mine. I know. Yeah, didn't really watch anything super exciting this week.
Greg.
So still rocking and rolling through Hollywood, the TV series on Netflix. Really, really still enjoying that. I'm excited to see what happens there. Based on our talks from last week, Emily and I decided to watch the third installment of the Psalm series. And recommend, actually, highly. Third one is really, really cool. So check that one out. And really, I've been kind of on a superhero kick. So I've been watching a lot of the Avengers Saga movies, just out of order. Whatever strikes my fancy that day, I throw it on and enjoy it. So just kind of revisiting some older stuff, but some really, really good stuff. So,
Greg, have you seen Neat? It's on Hulu, and it kind of popped up, recommended to me after I watched Psalm. It's a documentary about the history of bourbon.
I've seen it, not the movie. I've seen it on there. My buddy recommended it to me, actually.
Okay.
And I've been meaning to pull the trigger. Just haven't watched it yet, but I've got a whole week ahead of me and not a lot to do. So
Yeah.
I'll probably get to it.
Yeah.
Cool. It's been not so much a watching week for me. It's been a very creating week for me. So I've been doing a lot of writing and attempting to paint, which I am not much of an artist, but I'm attempting something new. But I did have a 3-pack DVD show up in my mail the other day, a triple feature called Feast. So I started to watch through that. Really, really fun. Not good, but it's a ton of fun. I got through the first one of those. I have 2 more to watch, so I'll probably knock through those this week. But other than that, our topic or our feature film, and that is pretty much what I watched this week. That's it. So beyond that, I guess that was what we've been watching. We never did the outro for the news, so we wrapped up.
Shut up, Josh!
So give me a
what?
second. Hang on, I got to go backwards.
Oh.
Greg and Patrick, I need you to take us out from the news. Let's go backwards.
You know, I knew we had skipped it, but I was just going to let it slide.
Oh, I can't let
Nice.
that beautiful
Josh, what did you do?
soundtrack slide. No. Please.
All right.
Take us out.
That was that was the news.
Look.
News.
I
This
feel
is
like
how-
I feel like we're all like saving up like certain resentments for each other when we all get together again. So as I said, the next the podcast after our quarantine might just be us slapping each other. So tune into
This is
the
like-
slapcast.
This is like just how bored I've kind of gotten in quarantine. So I'm like, hey, what can we do?
Patrick will have to set up cameras, and Maddie's just going to go like machete killer on all of us.
Yeah.
That ought to bring in some numbers.
Right?
So I guess it's time to get a little weird.
It's time
As
to.
As we walk into our topic, and we're going to, I guess, smash our topic and our villain versus villain thing into one, and out will come some weird confessions, I guess. So we're all doing the same 3 killers, correct?
No,
Or-
we're all.
No, it's going to be 3 different ones for each of us.
Oh, shit, it's about to get kind of weird. All right.
So we'll all be doing 3 different killers, if you will.
So,
4, I guess.
man, all right.
So what's the name of that segment there, Josh?
No.
Fucking killers in quarantine. Let's just call it that.
We're running out of topics number 5.
Yeah, we'll call it that. So, am I supposed to explain this shit? Am I supposed to go through like what we're doing here?
It's the standard game of marry, fuck, or kill, except we're going to use villains' names from Maddie's box, from Maddie's big old box.
Yeah, I had to mix another drink before we all started reaching into my box here. So, hate
well,
this show.
My mother is so proud of me right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
all right. So, I guess we're gonna start down that same.
And you have to give reasons why for each.
This is getting
No!
crazy. This is crazy. But if you feel the need to give a reason as to why you want to fuck your particular villain, please go ahead.
Well, it's not necessarily that you want to. It's just that you don't want to fuck the other two.
That's true.
That's a good reason.
It's like which is the one you would least want to, So anyway.
The lesser of three evils.
Right, exactly.
So we'll start down the line. Patrick.
All right, Patrick.
Maddie, give Patrick his 3 beautiful villains.
All right, Patrick. Your 3. Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
Pazuzu from The Exorcist.
Wow.
Or Carrie White from Carrie.
This is some bullcrap. He got good ones.
This is
those are some good ones.
Look.
Keep in mind, Carrie is still in high school.
Yeah, Okay, do we want, after...
Look, as long as she may be in high school, but if she's 18...
Hey, let's look up the age of consent in Nebraska before we go through this.
Yeah, I really don't.
Do we want to put names back in the box after one person's done with them? Does anyone want somebody's sloppy seconds? Or...
No, we don't want sloppy seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have been okay with it.
No.
All right, Patrick.
Oh, this is going to be horrible. This is really going to be horrible. Because...
Remember that one time we talked about the FBI monitoring our podcast?
God, yes. But if that's the case,
it's been nice knowing you.
Things that I've said on game nights are worse than anything I've ever said on this podcast.
Yeah, look, if the FBI hasn't come after me yet for looking up snuff films, they're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're safe. All right, we're good.
So, anyway, marry, fuck, or kill. Okay.
Fuck Leatherface. I'm going to be real disappointed in you.
I would kill Pazuzu because, he's someone that can keep doing things forever and ever and ever if he's not destroyed. So, out of good faith to the entire world, I would kill Pazuzu.
Very noble.
So then I've got marry and fuck between Leatherface and Carrie White. I would probably get super ass crazy drunk and fuck Leatherface. And because I would prefer to marry Carrie White because you can have a relationship with her for the rest of your life.
Very sweet. Thank you, Patrick.
There you go.
Well, Leatherface is going to cook you up some good grub.
That's true.
I was thinking of that, marry Leatherface, and he knows how to butcher and cook.
My grandpa always said marry a fat girl.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I gotta, because I can always say, it was just one night. I was really drunk. I was in college. We all experimented and get away with that. So
thank you,
Maddie. I guess you're up in this weird little game of oops.
I think we should call it the lesser of three evils.
Oh my god, I have horrible ones. This is horrible. Oh my god.
Good.
I have Pennywise the Dancing Clown. I have Dr. Hyder from the Human Centipede. And I have Dracula.
Okay. You can work with
so bad. Yeah, those are
No, these are awful. Oh my god. Okay, I'd kill Dr. Hyder because I'm not a roofies person. Oh boy. I actually lost my virginity to a clown, so Pennywise I'd fuck. And I guess I'd marry Dracula.
That's romantic.
Because, at least he'd leave me alone at night. And
you get to live forever.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's... I don't want to. I barely want to live now. But
So, Maddie's mom, if you happen to be listening or watching, I'd really be interested in what your reaction is to hearing that your daughter lost her virginity to a clown.
We'll talk about that when we're off air.
All right.
Who is next? Greg.
Bring it on. Let's get weird.
Oh, this isn't weird already?
Oh, let's get weird? Sure.
No, it's not weird at all.
Okay. You have Frankenstein's monster.
Ooh.
Girl from the Ring.
Ah, crap.
Patrick is jealous.
That's the one I was worried about.
We have Jack Torrance from The Shining.
So we've got Frankenstein's monster, Samara, and Jack Torrance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would kill Jack Torrance.
Okay.
Because he went to Crazy Town and never came back.
Think wisely, Gregory.
Yeah.
If you're going to go one way, you can say that you can always wait until age of consent.
No. Okay. I'm going
Alabama.
to marry Samara.
Very sweet.
And I'm going to fuck Frankenstein's monster.
I bet he'd be very tender.
He's a very tender, loving individual, just misunderstood.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm also getting plowed ass drunk. Because that's weird.
Yeah,
I thought
that's a
you were just
big
gonna
man.
leave
You're probably getting plowed anyway. That's a big
Yeah,
man.
I was going to say, you just leave it at plowed.
What body part, do you think he, picked the body parts for, any specific reason?
We're ending that discussion right there. Right there. We're done.
Dug up John Holmes for no apparent reason.
This looks like Ron Jeremy.
Josh, take us home. Good Lord.
Oh, I can't wait.
Hey, I still got plenty of names. We could do another round.
I think we should do another round.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay.
Please.
You have the tall man from Phantasm.
That sounds hot.
You have the gill man from Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Just got hotter.
And then you have Emotep from The Mummy.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Basically, the mummy.
You've never seen The Mummy?
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I got you. I got the tall man, the gill man, and the mummy.
Yeah.
This is gross and ridiculous.
Oh, it's funny for the rest of us.
See, at least for yours, all three of them are, it's dumb. I mean, for a couple of us, it's like you had to make some serious ethical choices.
Eek.
I mean, I'm gonna. This is fucking. I will. Gosh. I don't know. I'll kill the mummy. I have no reason. I think I'm gonna go with fucking the gill man because I saw The Shape of Water, and that doesn't look that bad. And then I'm gonna marry the tall man. So
girls want a tall man.
Right? Yeah. Why not? So.
I thought maybe you went with Gilman because you saw The Lighthouse last week.
I saw that too.
Yeah, Under the Sea, Josh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, you all feel like doing another round?
Yeah, what
We
the
got some
hell?
time. We might as well.
Yeah. All right.
We're in it now.
All right, back to me.
My wife is so probably just upstairs shaking her head right now, so disappointed in these decisions.
All right, Patrick. You have the alien from Alien.
Ouch. Okay.
You have the monster from Cloverfield.
Oh.
Oh.
And you have Jason.
Oh. Yeah, nobody wins in this scenario. All right, I've got the alien, Cloverfield, and I have Jason. Well, I wouldn't want to. Oh God. All right. Well, there's just no rhyme or reason to any of these three. I would kill the alien.
Why, that mouth looks fun.
Oh no, what, the double mouth? Yeah, I would kill the alien. I would fuck Jason and marry Cloverfield because I would be protected for life.
Beautiful.
No one's gonna fuck with Cloverfield.
Oh God, am I next?
Yeah, you're up, man.
You are.
Okay, I have Freddy Krueger.
Oh, we know you're gonna marry him.
We have a winner.
I have Dr. Richard Powell from The Void, and I have Patrick Bateman.
Oh,
Okay. I don't think Maddie lost in this round at all.
I did not.
did
No,
not.
I am a lucky girl. I mean, we're all gonna fuck Christian Bale, right? Duh. And then I would kill Dr. Powell and marry Freddy Krueger because I love me a man with some wit. Feel like I won.
Maddie
you did
I
really
did
well
win.
in that round.
Yeah,
no
that-
doubt.
You got the
Yeah.
man of your dreams.
I did. I feel real lucky. I don't like those scissor fingers, though. Okay, who's next?
Bring it on.
Greg's up.
All right, Greg. We have the Candyman.
Ooh.
We have John Kramer from Saw.
Ooh.
And we have King Kong.
Well, that took an unexpected turn.
So basically you have Bestiality or John Kramer or the Candyman. That'd be obnoxious, being married to the Candyman, because you'd have to, stand in the mirror and, yell at him 3 times before he'd come, and you'd be like, the dishes aren't fucking washed.
Might be the least of my worries if that was what it came down to. I'm going to say kill King Kong.
What? Hold the fucking phone. I'm sorry. Gregory.
That's scary coming at you. You're like, do I do something to this or give it a peanut? That's scary as hell.
What'd you have, Josh? What were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. I'm going to keep quiet. You killed King Kong. I'm going to leave it alone.
I would kill King Kong, fuck John Kramer, and marry Candyman.
That's very sweet.
I thought
I
maybe
don't
you
know
would.
if I have reasons for that, but
Yeah, I thought you'd marry John Kramer because he only had a couple years to live anyway.
True, but Candyman can haunt people, and that's always kind of fun. So, plus he's a straight badass. I know it's a tough call because I understand and appreciate John Kramer's what he's doing, but I don't know. I'm not going to go any further than that. Josh, take us home.
This isn't getting philosophical.
It's just gonna keep getting weirder.
Right?
Okay, you have Cujo.
Oh, that's easy. All right, sweet.
You have Count Orlok from Nosferatu.
I love
Ooh.
And you have Annabelle from The Conjuring. Oh, you are not having a good time.
He got his wish.
Yeah, basically.
He got a doll.
Yeah,
He got a doll.
Yeah, basically it's bestiality or do you want to fuck a puppet?
All right, well, I'm gonna go with fucking the doll because
Good man.
why would I not?
No complaining.
That was the easy one. Now the hard one is who am I gonna marry and who am I gonna kill? Because I mean, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna kill Nosferatu because I was gonna get that one out. I'm gonna marry Annabelle and I'm gonna fuck that dog. So and that's just the way. So, welcome to Confessions of the Midnight Frightcast.
Guys, I got more names. Do we want to do one more round or move on?
I'd probably move on.
Yeah, thank God. I really did not want to hear anybody else's confessions on if they want to fuck the Predator.
I love St. Bernards.
I'm pretty sure the Predator's not getting fucked. Other way around.
I hate this show.
Yeah.
So we might as well just dive out of this weirdness and take it home with our feature.
We never did this, and we're never doing it again.
That's probably a good call.
Oh, it's out there. It's out there now.
So quarantine's gotten kind of weird, which is really interesting. We're on quarantine and we never watched that movie for the Midnight Frightcast. Weird.
It's too real.
Quarantine?
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's not great.
But tonight, our feature is a movie called
Dog Shit.
We'll get to that. It's a movie called Z, and Patrick has the deets.
I do have the deets. Z, movie from 2019, running an hour 28, now showing on Shudder. When Beth and Kevin's 8-year-old son Joshua develops an imaginary friend named Z, they think it's cute. But they soon realize excuse me, I'm losing my voice.
He's been hanging out too much with Leatherface.
Yeah, choking on that leather dick.
That's what it is. But they soon realize just how wrong they are. Z becomes a terrible influence on Josh, and their innocent son turns into someone they barely recognize. It's only when Beth starts uncovering her own past that she learns that Josh's new friend Z may not be so imaginary after all. IMDb rating 5.5, Metacritic score rating 63%. And this is where it gets weird because there's only, I'll get to it in a second. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 100%, Rotten Tomato audience score 63%. And I'm going to say that's where it gets weird because on Rotten Tomatoes, it only has 15 ratings for the critic scores. Only 15 people have reviewed it. And for the audience, only 19 people have reviewed it. So I don't think it's a fair assessment on Rotten Tomatoes quite yet. And Josh, do you think it's weird that the main characters are called Beth and Josh?
I didn't even put that together, to be honest with you.
Are either of you seen Imaginary Friends or anything?
I mean, only when I'm on good stuff.
Sure.
I feel, I guess raise your hand really quick if you fucking hated this movie, and we'll start there.
Okay, so for the visually impaired, that's Maddie.
Yeah. So let's just start with Maddie because I'm curious as to let's start with Maddie.
So I've calmed down a little bit since this morning, but I'm still going to say this movie sucked donkey ass. This was horrible. First of all, there's no suspense in this movie. It's just a bunch of jump scares from someone that looks like Momo if they guest starred on Aqua Teen, Hunger Force. There is nothing scary about this movie whatsoever. And then, that kid approaches, fucking Babadook level annoyingness. They should have beating the shit out of that kid. Like, and I'm sorry. Like, if you ever, parents, like, you need to sit down with your kids and hit them just gently. Ugh. And then, like, we just have had, like, last week we talked about how shitty the dad was in that movie. Well, the dad was shitty in this movie, too. Like, there's always, I feel like when you have movies that have, like, a possessed or a haunted kid, there's, like, the parent that's like, hey, our kid's doing fucked up shit. And then there's the other parent that's like, nah, kids will be kids, boys will be boys. Don't you care about a son? And, like, those kids grow up to be Brock Turner. Just throwing that out there. That's how that happened. So, I don't know. This movie was just a bunch of cliches and nonsense. And, like, as I said, it totally sucked out my will to live this morning, even though it was only an hour and 23 minutes. Like, it was the longest hour and 23 minutes of my life. I've had more fun at the gynecologist than watching this movie.
Jeez.
Like, no.
That being said, we should watch Teeth next.
Oh my god, I love Teeth. Whose pick is it next? Can we please watch Teeth?
Yours?
Is it mine?
Maddie, you're up. Yeah, you're up.
Oh, that sucks for you guys. Anyway, no, this was just a bad movie. Like, it was just a bunch of horror movie cliches. They tried to borrow from way too many movies. The only, like, non-obnoxious character in this movie, like, ended up screwed at the end. Like, the sister was the only one that, like, wasn't obnoxious, that she ends up taking care of, like, little fucking Johnny son of a bitch and the brain-dead mom. Sorry, spoilers. No, this is bad. This was, like, the laziest effort I've ever seen in a horror movie. Like, I've taken, like, post-Taco Bell shits that are more talented and put together than this movie. It's horrible. Horrible. This is shit.
Are we spoiling, by the way?
We are now.
I feel like this movie was spoiled. Like, who cares? Spoiler alert, this movie's getting 0 across the board when we rate. 0.
Maddie, we can't give zeros.
On a ranking from 1 to 10.
And this movie exists, so it's the low
It
score.
shouldn't.
It shouldn't. Patrick or Greg, you guys wanna go?
I'll jump in. So I didn't mind this movie as much. I felt like the setup of it had it going really, really well. There were some good atmosphere, I felt. A lot of decent tension until Maddie's burning holes in her computer is glaring at me right now, but I don't care.
I'm just saving it for Slapcast.
I know. Slapcast.
Welcome to the Midnight Slapcast.
Right? Smack. I agree with you, Maddie. The kid was annoying as hell. And we had talked a little bit before the cast. This movie is very Babadookian. Yes, I'm saying it. Where it kind of faltered for me was right about the halfway point. And where I'm talking about is the fire in the house scene. For those that want to see it, that doesn't spoil too much. There's a fire in the house. Woo.
There's no smoke in the house with the fire. Just throwing it out there.
The movie turned from kind of scary, creepy at the beginning to uncomfortable, creepy at the end. Like, I did not feel really great about what they did, taking Beth back to her childhood home and basically turning her into an adult with a child's mindset. Was really weird. Not sure why they went about that decision. But up until that point, you know, the whole painting on the wall I thought was creepy. Seeing the figure on its own, the one time you get to see it, didn't do much for me. I thought that was kind of a cop-out. But really, you know, I feel like this movie rides the middle of the fence. It's a decent movie to watch. If you watch it, pitch black room, you'll get some creepiness out of it. You'll get some tension. But expect the rug to be pulled out from under you and to be left blue balling.
Patrick.
Greg, I completely agree with you. I think this was a decent effort for a Babadook cousin. It just really had that Babadook feel to it. I agree with you, Maddie, that the kid was not as effective as some other youth actors that we've seen. I don't know that he was given a lot to work with because the writing wasn't great for him, but I've seen child actors that are just a little bit more believable than this young man was. You know, I don't want to dig on the kid himself because I'm sure he was doing the best he could, but I just think that had he been more believable, then this might have been a little bit more effective. It was so strange going through this because it had moments where it had decent tension, and what was happening in the surroundings was really good. I wanted to see just a little bit more with weird things happening in the house other than the pillows being moved and other items such as that. I did like the reveal that the mom was the one who originally had the imaginary friend and that they had to revisit that through the psychiatrist. I'm just surprised this, well, I mean, it wouldn't be a reveal if the psychiatrist said something right away. But then it kind of had, what was that movie? It wasn't Insidious. It was, oh, gosh, I can't think of his name now. It was a similar movie where you find out that the kid was seeing someone, but you found out that the dad was the one that had the demons growing up.
That's Insidious, I think.
Is that Insidious?
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah. That's Insidious.
So it had overtones of that movie in it as well. I thought the ending would have been more effective had she completed what she tried doing to get rid of the entity. Mm-hmm. And then instead had it come back with her sister instead of having it still be alive for the reasons that it was still alive. And it didn't need to affect the kid at all at the end. I think it would have been interesting to see it, how it affected the sister at that point, taking over the role as the mom. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good attempt, better than some of the stuff we've seen this year, but it was just lacking something. There wasn't enough seasoning in this movie. I thought the mom did a really good job. The dad, once again, it's one of those cases, why do men not take shit seriously in these movies? It's always the women who take things seriously.
Boys will be boys.
They're more willing to accept that something is wrong. You know, I kind of liked it when the dad at first said, you know what, I did see something. And then it was like, no, I just saw my jacket, you fucking idiot. It's like,
Well, like,
great.
and that's, like, I had kind of pitched this topic in our, whatchamacallit, horror movie cliches. And this is a cliche in a lot of movies where the dad is, like, always gone and the mom is home with the kid. And so she notices more. And, like, they kind of hinted to that in this movie a little bit where the mom said, I'm the one here with him. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. And so I think that's kind of something that happens with a lot of these horror movies with, like, a little demon child. Is like the mom's like, I see this because I'm here with this kid all the time. You are at work, you see him for like an hour and a half at home, and then and to me that was just a little that was another reason I didn't really like this movie. It was just a little too cliche. Yeah, and for the second week in a row we had a dad who doesn't win the Father of the Year award signing off on the red cards. Oh, my kid doesn't have a problem. Yeah, he's just assaulting the other students. Who cares?
And then ripping into the mom for her doing something without his consent. So, like I said, overall, I think it was a good attempt. It just needed a little bit more to make it a movie that I would like really, really enjoy. Not that I didn't enjoy this movie. It's just it filled in all the check marks with tropes that have been used before. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the nice thing about the movie was it sits at a tight hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was only, hour 28 with credits?
It was hour and 23 with credits. So they tried to pack everything in there so there wasn't any real moment in there where it was slow. And I appreciate that because they could have dragged it out for another 10 minutes. There could have been some slow bullshit in there that has no reason to be in there. But instead they packed it in this nice hour and 20-minute time, so nothing really dragged. And I never felt bored during the movie. I wasn't that annoyed with the kid. He didn't really bug me that much, and certainly like not on a Babadook level of annoyance. That's just me, though.
I felt the kid could have been younger for the imaginary friends. I don't know, because I don't remember having imaginary friends when I was 8 years old. Because I think he was supposed to be 8 in this.
He was 8, yeah. I think he was about the right age because you got that tipping point of kids' imagination, still pretty wild, very vivid, but you're also growing into, okay, now I'm making a practical use out of what knowledge I have. So it's
yeah, I would agree with you on that then, Greg, because then that added more for the parents to be saying, is this normal? Is it not? Right. Yes, it's normal. He's still, I can see that.
If he would have been too young, then I think it would have just been meh, whatever. Or if he was too old on the other side, the kid would have been meh, whatever.
I mean, that kid clearly didn't have any goddamn friends either, though. So, I mean, he needed...
But he was annoying. Of course he didn't have friends.
I didn't find him that annoying, like I said. But, and again, like I said, certainly not to a Babadook level of annoying.
He was getting there. He was flirting with it.
He was flirting with it. The imagery on the wall when he drew Z was way... This is what we talked about 2 weeks ago, as far as, like, when we did that creature feature thing, and, like, how everything in your head is way fucking scarier than anything they'll ever come up with. And that even that drawing on the wall was scarier than that Gollum bullshit they came up with. I'm not kidding. They flashed him real fast when she was doing that bathroom scene. And I was like, was that fucking Gollum from Lord of the Rings? That's who I thought it was.
Someone said it was the Momo challenge.
Yeah, man.
I said, the Momo challenge.
It was awful. And it got better. The second or third time I feel like they showed him, it was a little better.
You only saw a face of him twice. One was in the bathtub with her. The second time was right before the fire when the father was in that little play area and he was looking at the thing with all the toys.
No, there was a third time when the psychiatrist was at the house visiting Beth. He stood up and the guy was standing in the corner over his shoulder.
I was going to say,
That was a full body shot, yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
See, I thought that his most effective shot and the only effective shot in this movie was when he, like, crawled after the kid in the play zone.
In the tube.
And it's just because, like, of that movement.
Yeah. And you barely saw anything.
Yeah, and, like, if they had just kept it at that, like, I probably would have had a lot less problem with this movie, but, like, I would have enjoyed it a little more. I think this was one of those movies where they just showed way too much.
I fought with the back third of this movie where they revealed... I was like, was that cool? Was that kind of a cop-out? With the reveal of the mom having Z as a imaginary friend when she was a kid. I couldn't decide whether or not, like, that was kind of a fun little, like, twist, or if they got stuck and they didn't know where to go with it, so they just kind of did that. Greg is right. That whole thing at the end with her acting like a child, so...
Well, what it reminded me of, have any of you guys seen The Orphanage?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminded me of that, but done poorly. Because, like, in The Orphanage, she's trying to, like, summon the little ghost children. So that's what she does, is she, like, puts on her old uniform. She, like, starts doing stuff they did as a kid. And it reminded me exactly of this movie, except, like, it was really effective in The Orphanage.
This wasn't really her summoning Z. It was her, like, being held hostage so he would leave her kid alone.
Yeah.
That really was.
And it was just a little bit weird in that third act because, well, like we're saying, she was acting like a child. And that makes sense because that's the only way she knew how to communicate with him is what she remembered from when she was a child. So that's the only level of communication that they had. But then it was the whole wedding thing, and that made it bizarre.
That was weird.
I thought it got bizarre, like, the second, like... First of all, who keeps multiple types of milk in their house? That's so weird.
That is odd.
That is so odd. And, like, we have 2 types of milk in our house because I am allergic to milk. But, like, other than that, like, we don't have 2% and skim and 1% and buttermilk and whole milk. And
it's different if you have soy milk and whole milk.
Yeah.
It's different, that way. But, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Percentages...
Like, the whole, like, thing where she's, like, sitting there and, like, the monster, like, growls at the end of the table because she doesn't have 2% milk. I was like, what is this bullshit?
Yeah, that was weird.
It never made a sound prior to that.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's like, my milk isn't creamy enough, so, like, go.
Her milkshake didn't bring all the demons to the yard.
Yeah, no.
I understand, like, the storyline with the mom dying and everything. Like, they needed that to bring the sisters together. But I also feel like they could have done something else to do. I don't know. That was kind of a weird...
They could have done more with the mom.
I agree with that. I didn't mind that they had that little sub-story because, it introduced you to the sister. It introduced you to the mom and the child's house. And I think that's what helped kind of get the ball really rolling for Beth when she found that little speak and spell whatever thing that kept saying Z. I think that was really kind of the catalyst that got it rolling. So I actually, I agree with Patrick. I wanted to see more with the mom character and how that whole thing unfolded. And actually, I have a theory that I want to run by you guys later to see what your thoughts are on part of that whole home life thing.
When the mom went into the room in the third act and saw what she saw hanging from the fan, did that really happen in her lifetime?
This is my theory I want to talk to you guys about. Can we talk about it now?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously there's no dad in the picture. We know that he killed himself early on. We get to see that he killed himself. Spoilers, he hung himself from the fan. Fast forward to the end of the movie, Beth realizes that it's all in her head. She's the one that can stop it, so she goes and she tries to hang herself. Is there any connection or lost connection between the father hanging himself prior to all of this to this point right now? Was Z affiliated with Beth's father at all?
I was wondering
kind of what
that
I thought.
as well.
Yeah, I thought it was just something that was like passed down. Because even like at the end, like the Josh son bastard said goodnight Z, so like he was still like reliving it. So I kind of thought like maybe this was just like a family thing. Like personally, my family passes down anxiety issues. I guess this family passes down like demon
imaginary
issues.
demons.
Yeah, little imaginary demons. So it's kind of like this. The only part of this movie I kind of appreciated is that they were like. I felt like they set it up to be like, well, is this all in their head or is this just something that's being passed down like throughout the family?
That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, the dad had this issue. He knew about this demon and he came to the realization it's all in my head. I can end this. So he has the necktie party, realizes that it's already passed on to the child. And so it's just kind of a sick cycle that keeps going through this family. So interesting.
Do you think this would have been more effective if the mom like actually died instead of just like became a veggie casserole?
I
think
feel
so.
like, again, it would have been very like less cop-out-ish. You know what I mean? I feel like, again, it could have just ended with her dying, and it could have just been the end. But again, they want to throw that whole little bit at the end to it's a kick in the nuts, you know, with him saying goodnight to everybody, and then goodnight Z being the last line of the movie and leaving you hanging there.
Yeah.
I think it would have been more effective had she died and he still said goodnight Z.
Yeah.
I think that would have helped pan on that theory a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Patrick, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, just bouncing off something that Josh had said, to me, this is a safe horror movie. We've talked about what could a horror movie pack or a starter pack be. This could live in that box just because it's safe. Well,
and there's a lot of cliches in this movie that I feel like someone who is new to the horror movie genre wouldn't pick up on, because we've obviously seen like a million horror movies, so we're like, oh yeah, there's the dad who doesn't care, there's the mom who's going nuts, there's the little bastard kid. So like I feel like we're picking up on that just because we've seen so many horror movies. I feel like someone who's newer to this genre might not like pick up that this is something that's been done a million times and it's not special. So like maybe someone who like, you know, didn't watch as many horror movies as the four of us do maybe might appreciate this movie a little bit more.
For sure, yeah, that's definitely a starter pack film safe. So I agree.
Yeah, it's very safe. It kind of reminded me of those like in the early like 2000s to like the 2010s, like just a bunch of like PG-13 horror movies came out, and this kind of reminded me of one of those. I have no idea what this is rated, and since it was on Shudder, it might not have a rating at all.
It surprised me too that this was a Shudder original, because it does feel really safe for a Shudder original.
Well, we've kind of talked about that. Netflix, Shudder, all these, they might not have the big budget and whatever to do something crazy. And they've all kind of been hit and miss, like Hulu originals, Netflix originals have all been hit and miss. So, like, I haven't seen a ton of Shudder originals. I think the last one we watched was the Haunt.
Haunt, yeah.
Yeah, Haunt. So, and Haunt was great. So, I mean, we could just be seeing, they can't all be winners. Not every movie made is going to be a winner.
I will say they missed a great opportunity early on in the movie. And that's when she turns off the light and there's the two eyes glowing in the pantry.
In the closet.
Mm-hmm. And she flicks the light back on and it's gone, and she flips it off and they're back. Flips the light back. She goes in there and it's the train. It's just a reflection on the wheels.
Right.
They needed to follow that up with, she took the train down, she walks off, sets it on the, she should have shut off the light and the eye's been there again.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah,
they missed. I thought that was going to be a lights out moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing I noticed, because I still had my my closed captioning on in this movie, is there's a lot of suspenseful music in this movie that didn't need to be suspenseful, like just in like weird times. So I'd be interested to look more into this director and see if this is one of his first movies, because it just seemed a little amateur.
I can check into that right now.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that or to see that.
It appears to be his second feature.
Okay.
Everything else has been a short. According to IMDb, his first short was in 2009.
What was his first feature?
It's called Stillborn.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's on. Isn't that on Shudder too?
Could be.
Maybe. I know it. I don't know where it is right now.
Yeah, I feel like that pops up for me a lot.
I know you can rent it on Prime, but yes, Stillborn appears to be his first feature according to IMDb.
And
It's on Shudder.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Cool. Anything else, guys?
Maddie brought up earlier something about the fire or smoke in the fire. The other thing is just the CGI was passable
Yeah, it was
in this.
not great. Like, that was something I really caught up on, is like when she went into the house, there's no smoke in there at all. There's just like those lovely
Just flames.
CGI flames.
Yeah.
And then she like gets out of the house and there's just flames coming up from like one window. And I was like, that's not how that works.
That's not how fires work. Yeah.
Yeah, like most of the time, like people in a house fire, like they suffocate from the fumes before their body catches on fire. So I was just kind of like, you run through there and there's just like flames everywhere. No smoke is not working out for you.
Yeah.
Cool. Ready to rate?
Sure.
Well, then, if I can remember them, we rate on a scale of fear, gore, right, and then overall, correct? Yeah. One day I'll get this right, and I won't forget this shit. So, down the line, Patrick, fear factor.
Fear factor it had its moments of tension, but it wasn't outstanding. I'm going to give it about a 4.
Yeah. Maddie. No, 0.
I know you won't let me do 0, so I guess we're doing 1. There's no tension in this movie, except just nerves.
Greg.
I'm going to sit with a 4.5. Yeah, there are some good spots towards the beginning of the movie, some tension-filled spots I felt.
Yeah, I thought there were a few good spots in the movie. I'm going to go with a 4 as well.
Maddie's flailing. No!
I am.
All right. Down the line, Patrick, let's go with gore score.
Gore score, it was really low. Even when they had the opportunity to show some gore, they didn't. There was some blood with the father. You know, you see the one kid falling through the banister area, smacking his head or doing something, but it was really, really low in this movie. So 1, maybe 2, 1.
Maddie.
Yeah, I'm not going to give a high score to this first-year makeup student with F grades. This is a 1.
Greg.
I will give it a 2.
All right, and even I'm going to agree with Maddie on this one. I'm going to give it a 1 as well. So, overall, Patrick.
Overall, like I said, it was a good attempt. It's a safe film. It is a as as opposed to what we saw last week. I'm going to give it a 6.
And are you going to recommend?
I would recommend it as a safe movie as possible. I mean, it doesn't knock off any of the other starter pack movies that we've talked about before, but it would be a starter pack movie.
Cool, Maddie.
This is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as some of the shit we've seen, so I'll give it a 3. And I would recommend this, like, maybe to my grandma.
Greg.
I will give it a 5. I think 100% this is a starter pack movie. Gives you a little bit of taste of tension, some of those cliches. I would, again, recommend it as a starter pack movie. I would just say you got about half of a good movie in here and half of not so great. So enjoy whichever side you enjoy.
Cool. I'm going to go with a 6 as well. Again, I think kind of Patrick hit it on the head. I think it's a definite starter pack film for people. And that's kind of the people that I would point towards that movie is anyone that, has not experienced anything like this. I think it'd be a good start for them. So 6 it is for me. So, yeah, cool. Let's do plugs. Who's got them?
I'll do one of my favorite local businesses right now, Artemis Tea in Omaha. They are great. I am a huge herbal tea lover, and I've ordered way too much from them. So everybody check out Artemis Tea in Omaha. They do ship once a week, so if you put an order in, it might take a minute, but you can also do pickup. Very mindfully crafted and very, very worth the price tag. So I recommend them in downtown Omaha.
Cool. Gregory, nothing? I got
Nada.
nothing. I can't wait to have a plug again. I'm
Yeah.
itching for a plug. But, Patrick,
If you're a fan of the Midnight Frightcast, and we know that you are, make sure that you go on over to iTunes or whatever platform you listen to us on and rate and review us. Also, help us build our audience. Tell all your friends and family about us and make sure that they listen as well. Finally, check out our films at midnightfrightfilms.com.
cool. Then for myself and Patrick and Maddie and Greg, thank you for listening to our weird fucking confessions. This has been the Frightcast, episode number 83, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Later.